Every morning, before you check your phone, before you talk to anyone, before the world demands anything from you, there's a decision waiting to be made. That decision is not about what you'll wear, what you'll eat, or what's on your schedule. It's deeper. It's about the mood you choose to carry into your day. Because here's the truth. Your mood shapes your life more than your circumstances ever will. The difference between a powerful day and a painful one isn't what happens. It's how you show up for what happens. Most people wake up and let life decide how they feel. If something goes wrong, they get frustrated. If something goes right, they get happy. They're emotional puppets pulled by the strings of circumstance. But you don't have to live that way. You have the power to choose how you feel before anything happens. You can decide that no matter what the world throws at you, you'll meet it with energy, gratitude, and strength. That choice doesn't just change your mood, it changes your destiny. Think about it. When you're in a great mood, you see opportunities where others see obstacles. You connect more deeply. You create more freely. You respond with patience instead of reacting with anger. A good mood isn't luck. It's leadership of the self. It's taking control of the only thing you truly can control, your inner state. You can't always control the weather, the traffic, or the people around you, but you can always control the meaning you give it. The moment you decide to choose a good mood, you rise above average. You stop waiting for happiness to knock on your door and you start generating it from within. And once you realize that your emotions are your responsibility, not the world's, you become unstoppable. Because no one and nothing can take away a mood you've consciously chosen. It's time to wake up each day and decide, today I lead with joy. Today I choose a good mood. The power of emotional cleansing is one of the most transformative forces a human being can experience because it begins at the deepest level of who we are, our inner world. Every day we absorb energy from our environment, from people, from challenges, and from our own thoughts. Some of this energy uplifts us, while some of it becomes toxic. Emotional cleansing is about consciously identifying and releasing the emotions that no longer serve us. It's about recognizing that holding on to pain, anger, guilt, or regret doesn't protect us. It imprisons us. When you carry negativity within you, it acts like emotional residue that clouds your vision and limits your potential. It subtly drains your motivation, your creativity, and your ability to connect deeply with others. You might wake up feeling tired for no reason or find yourself reacting harshly to small things, not realizing that it's the buildup of unprocessed emotions that's speaking through you. True cleansing doesn't come from pretending everything is fine. It comes from facing what's not. It requires the courage to look inward and ask, what am I still holding on to that's poisoning my peace? Maybe it's a betrayal you never forgave, a failure you never accepted, or a wound you never allowed yourself to heal from. Emotional cleansing is the process of shining a light on those hidden corners of your heart and saying, it's time to let this go. It's not about erasing memories. It's about releasing the emotional charge they carry. When you release that charge, you free yourself from the emotional gravity that pulls you backward. There's immense power in acknowledging your pain without letting it define you. When you allow yourself to cry, to feel, to express, you are not breaking down. You are breaking through. You are signaling to your mind and body that it's safe to move forward again. Cleansing your emotions restores your inner balance. Much like clearing out a cluttered room restores peace to a space. You start to notice that you breathe easier, think clearer, and feel lighter. That's because you've removed the emotional blocks that once kept your energy stagnant. Once you create space by letting go of toxic emotions, new empowering emotions can flow in naturally. Joy, gratitude, passion, love. They were always within you, but negativity had crowded them out. When you cleanse emotionally, you realign with your true self, the version of you that isn't burdened by fear or resentment, but fueled by strength and clarity. Emotional cleansing is not a one-time act. It's a lifelong practice of releasing what doesn't belong and nurturing what does, allowing your inner energy to stay fresh, vibrant, and free. Negativity is not just a thought or a mood. It is a form of energy that lives inside you, influences how you see the world, how you act, and how you feel. When you allow negativity to take root, it becomes like fog in your mind. blocking your vision, dulling your spirit, and stopping you from recognizing opportunities that are right in front of you. It seeps into your emotions, your language, and even your body, weighing you down and making everything feel heavier than it actually is. The human mind is powerful, but it is also vulnerable to the energy it feeds on. If you constantly focus on what's wrong, on what hurts, on what didn't work out, you condition your brain to look for more of it. Negativity creates a cycle. One thought triggers another. One complaint leads to another until your inner world becomes a loop of frustration and doubt. Understanding this is the first step toward freeing yourself from it. Negativity thrives on attention. The more you dwell on it, the stronger it grows. It doesn't need truth to survive. It only needs repetition. Every time you replay a negative memory, every time you speak words filled with anger or fear, you give that energy power over you. It builds momentum and begins to shape your identity. You start to believe that this heaviness is who you are, when in reality it's just an emotional fog, clouding your true essence. The danger is not that negativity exists, because it always will in some form, but that you let it stay inside you long enough to control your state. It becomes the lens through which you view life. And when that lens is dirty, everything you see looks tainted. To break free, you must first recognize that negativity is energy that can be shifted. It cannot be destroyed, but it can be transformed. When you consciously choose to redirect your focus from problems to possibilities, from fear to faith, from resentment to gratitude, you begin to change your emotional frequency. That shift in energy changes your physiology, your mindset, and your actions. You start to attract experiences that match that higher state. The moment you release the energy of negativity, you allow clarity to enter. You begin to think with precision, act with intention, and move with confidence. Your energy becomes lighter, your emotions steadier, and your vision clearer. The more you practice awareness of this energy, the more control you gain over your internal environment. When you understand that negativity is not who you are, but something passing through you, you reclaim your power to choose peace, focus, and strength over fear, frustration, and doubt. Taking control of your emotional state is one of the most powerful skills you can ever develop, because it determines how you experience life, how you respond to challenges, and how you create your future. Most people live in reaction mode. They let circumstances dictate their emotions, letting the external world control their internal state. When something good happens, they feel good. When something bad happens, they collapse emotionally. But the truth is, the quality of your life isn't shaped by what happens to you. It's shaped by what you do with what happens. You have the ability to choose how you feel in every moment, even when things seem out of control. This choice doesn't come from denial. It comes from awareness. It's the moment you say, no matter what's happening around me, I decide how I will show up. That decision gives you back your power. Your emotions are not random. They're patterns built through repetition. Every time you react a certain way, you strengthen that pattern. If you often respond with anger or fear, your body learns that response until it becomes automatic. The key is to interrupt that pattern before it takes over. When you feel yourself slipping into negativity, stop, breathe, and ask, is this emotion serving me right now? Most of the time, it's not. And that question creates a moment of clarity, a space between reaction and response where you can choose differently. Taking control of your emotional state doesn't mean ignoring your feelings. It means guiding them towards something empowering. You acknowledge the emotion, but you don't surrender to it. You use it as information, not as identity. When you master this, you begin to live with emotional intelligence rather than emotional reactivity. You stop giving your power away to other people's behavior, opinions, or moods. You stop letting circumstances define your energy. You become the thermostat, not the thermometer, setting the tone rather than absorbing it. The more you practice controlling your state, the more emotional momentum you build. Your confidence grows, your focus sharpens, and your energy rises because you are no longer at the mercy of chaos. This control extends beyond emotion. It influences every area of life. When your inner world is calm, your decisions become wiser. When your emotions are centered, your relationships improve. When your mind is steady, your vision expands. Taking command of your emotional state is not about perfection, but progress. It's about catching yourself faster each time you fall into negativity, realigning your focus, and choosing emotions that fuel your purpose. It's the art of self-leadership, mastering the inside so the outside no longer controls you. Replacing destructive thoughts with empowering beliefs is the foundation of lasting transformation, because your thoughts shape your emotions and your emotions shape your actions. Every belief you hold either builds you or breaks you. Many people carry thoughts that quietly sabotage their potential. Thoughts like, I'm not enough, I can't change, or I'll never be successful. These beliefs operate beneath the surface, influencing every choice and reaction, often without awareness. The mind is a powerful machine, but it doesn't question the information it's given. It simply follows the dominant pattern. When destructive thoughts repeat long enough, they form mental grooves that trap you in the same emotional state, convincing you that limitation is reality. The only way to break that cycle is to consciously replace those thoughts with beliefs that strengthen you instead of weaken you. Empowering beliefs act like internal fuel. They give meaning to your challenges, courage to your fears, and clarity to your goals. The moment you decide to reframe a thought like, I always fail into every setback is teaching me something valuable, you shift your brain's direction. This isn't about blind positivity. It's about intentional truth. The truth is that you are capable, adaptable, and resilient, but those qualities only express themselves when your beliefs allow them to. A mind filled with destructive thoughts will always look for evidence of failure, while a mind guided by empowering beliefs will find opportunity in every struggle. What you focus on expands, and your beliefs are the filter through which that focus flows. The process of replacement begins with awareness. You can't change what you don't notice. Start by listening to the inner dialogue that runs through your mind daily. Each time you catch yourself thinking something negative, pause and replace it with a thought that aligns with who you want to become. Over time, this repetition rewires your brain. The same way destructive thoughts became habits, empowering ones can too. The more you affirm new beliefs with emotion and consistency, the more they become your natural state. You stop questioning your worth and start expressing it. When you replace destructive thoughts, you also transform your emotional energy. Fear turns into faith, doubt into drive, and hesitation into action. The power of belief lies in its ability to influence your physiology. Your posture changes, your voice strengthens, your energy rises. You begin to attract circumstances that align with your new state of mind. Life starts to mirror the strength you've built internally. Replacing destructive thoughts with empowering beliefs is not a one-time act, but a daily discipline that shapes the quality of your entire life. Because once your mind believes in possibility, your actions will follow. Choosing to transform pain into power and resentment into fuel for purpose is one of the most profound shifts a person can make in their life. Pain is inevitable. Everyone experiences loss, disappointment, betrayal, or failure at some point. What defines your strength isn't whether you've been hurt, but what you decide to do with that hurt. Most people let pain break them down. They relive it, carry it, and allow it to become their identity. But there's another choice: to use that same pain as raw material to build something extraordinary. Every great breakthrough begins with a breakdown that someone refused to stay trapped in. When you look at your pain through the lens of growth instead of suffering, it becomes a teacher, not a prison guard. It shows you where you've been wounded, but also where you have the potential to become unshakable. Transforming pain into power begins with acceptance. You can't heal what you keep running from. The moment you face your pain directly, you strip it of its ability to control you. You realize that your experiences, no matter how painful, have forged qualities in you: empathy, resilience, strength, wisdom that could not have been developed any other way. Pain becomes power when you stop asking, why did this happen to me? And start asking, what can I create because of this? That question turns victimhood into victory. It shifts your focus from what you lost to what you can gain, from what broke you to what built you. Resentment, on the other hand, is pain that has been stored instead of released. It's emotional poison that corrodes you from the inside. When you hold on to resentment, you keep reliving the hurt, giving your past power over your present. But when you choose to turn that resentment into fuel, you use it as a reminder of your strength. You say, I won't let this define me. I'll use it to rise higher. That energy becomes a driving force, a determination to prove to yourself that you can turn any wound into wisdom. Every great leader, artist, or visionary has done this. They've taken their darkest moments and transformed them into purpose that inspires others. The process of turning pain into power is not about ignoring what happened. It's about rewriting its meaning. The same event that could destroy one person can awaken greatness in another, depending on how they interpret it. When you choose transformation over bitterness, you reclaim control of your life. Pain stops being the end of your story and becomes the beginning of your strength. You realize that every scar is not a sign of weakness, but a symbol of survival. Proof that you had the courage to endure and the will to rise again.